Hello and welcome to another episode on Maritime Radar. Lagos Ports, also known as the Apapa Quay, is the biggest port in Nigeria in terms of land area and volumes of cargo handled. The port spans more than 80 acres and boasts of a four-wheeled gate measuring 8 meters for receiving oversized cargo, giving it an edge over other Nigerian ports. The Tinkan Island port, situated west of Apapa near the Lagos Port Complex, is the second busiest port in Nigeria, established in 1975 when economic activity, especially international trade, increased, a consequence of the oil boom in Nigeria after the Civil War. The growing import and export trade led to the congestion of the Lagos port, and Tinkan Island had to be constructed for diverting excess cargo. Nigerian ports have been described as the most expensive and inefficient in the West and Central African sub-region, which has made it unattractive to importers who prefer diverting cargoes meant for Nigerian ports to neighboring countries that have efficient port system. Assessing government intervention in curbing the perennial gridlock on Apapa Tinkan port access route are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. I'm Nneoma Obi-Asualo. The administration and state of the Apapa and Tinkan ports have been of utmost concern to stakeholders in Nigeria, given how pivotal the business of the ports are to economic growth. Despite series of interventions by the government to curb the underlying problems, bad road portions, obsolete infrastructure, delays in cargo clearance, lack of an automated cargo clearance system, perennial gridlock, the evident racketeering, and these ports have continued to trigger an increase in haulage costs and demurrage. Stakeholders say has led to huge economic loss. Access to Lagos port gridlock defiling every known solution. Developing other ports in the country for operational efficiency may be the way to go. Before we get further into today's lineup on the program, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
The exchange rate for calculation of import duties into Nigeria has dropped again from 1,330 naira 26 kobo to 1,260 naira 49 kobo. This comes as the changes will take effect on Nigeria's Customs Service portal from 5th of April. Port stakeholders have raised concerns over the current import duties exchange rate of 1,260 naira 49 kobo to $1, which is higher than the prevailing official exchange rate of the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is pegged at 1,190 naira to $1. Meanwhile, the Controller General of Nigeria Customs Service, Wale Adeniyi, in a press briefing on the performance of the service for the first quarter of 2024, lamented that the exchange rate has been adjusted 28 times by the CBN. Adeniyi noted that notwithstanding the gains this increment will have on the revenue of the service, the negative implications it has on transaction volumes are significant and outweigh the benefits. The customs boss added that the significant fluctuation in exchange rates applied in customs clearance of consignment posed considerable difficulties. Experts are advocating for tax holidays to help boost the maritime sector. At a recent event, economist Bismarck Ridwan noted that the foreign exchange complications have largely affected the maritime sector business in recent times, and the challenges are likely to persist in the near future if not promptly addressed. While opining that the Nigerian water transportation sector has been unstable in the last 2 years, he called for the harmonization of maritime activities and monitoring of implementation efforts. While speaking, the president of the Nigerian Maritime Law Association, Funke Agbo, noted that the growth in the maritime sector would invariably lead to holistic national economic development. Raising the issues with foreign exchange and how the naira fell so much against the dollar, she noted that it's about maritime logistics and international trade, even as Nigerians cannot even import goods with naira because they have to change naira into dollar through the Central Bank of Nigeria. Shanghai's mayor, Gong Zheng, says that the Shanghai port remained the world's busiest container port for the 14th consecutive year in 2023 with 49.158 million TEUs. Shanghai is accelerating its role as an international economic, financial, trade, shipping, and scientific innovation center. In 2023, Shanghai's GDP reached 4.72 trillion yuan, about $653.1 million US, ranking it in the forefront of the world's cities according to Gong. Its financial market recorded a transaction value of more than 3.3 trillion yuan in 2023. Shanghai has attracted 1,771 licensed financial institutions, out of which 548 were foreign-owned. The total international trade volume of goods at the Shanghai port hit 10.7 trillion yuan, accounting for 3.6% of the global total and maintaining first place amongst all cities.
Welcome back if you're just joining us. This is Maritime Radar. Port stakeholders and residents of Apapa, Tinkan, and its environs have had to spend hours on the road before they could access their homes and offices due to the gridlock. The situation has forced many firms and residents to relocate from Apapa. Port users, especially truck owners and drivers, had accused the various task force teams set up by government at some point of high-handedness, bribery, corruption, and sabotage. The horrible traffic on the port access route caused haulage costs to skyrocket, resulting in importers abandoning their cargoes in the seaport due to their inability to move it out of the port. Also, billions of naira are lost to Apapa businesses struggle to navigate through the gridlock caused by trailers and trucks. In this chat with Ridwan Bello, Chairman, Amalgamation of Container Trucks Owners Association of Nigeria, ACTOAN, he shares truckers' view of the gridlock, the struggle that businesses face in Apapa, and the hundreds of billions lost due to this traffic caused by containers and trucks. Stay with us. Ridwan, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
So let's start this conversation having a background understanding of the cause of Apapa and Tinkan gridlock.
Since the port has been built, we had a maintenance deficit problem whereby the road is not properly managed, and the emergence of tank farms within Apapa and Tinkan in the 90s. That's where we started, experiencing, gridlock within Apapa and Tinkan, and the road really got bad without proper maintenance culture. So the MPA and the Ministry of Works decided to rebuild and reconstruct the road, and immediately after the commencement of the reconstruction, we had the Navy jump up on the opportunity to manage trucks. It was really bad that they were only looking at the advantages as to make money, not to manage the flow of traffic.
Well, this is a severe allegation, I hope you know.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere. We wrote petition. In fact, as at then, the vice president had to, got himself involved before the naval officers stepped down. As at then, before a truck can access the port, it started from 20,000. From 20,000, it got to 70,000, and it was really messy. We had the situation whereby naval officers were just all over the place, making so much money while the truckers.
Aside from the naval officers, you had mentioned situating tank farms in Apapa. So, what solutions will you have preferred, or what suggestion do you think the situation of the situating the tank farm should be?
We need to be proactive, not reactive. If we are building tank farms, then we should be building truck parks.
Okay.
We should be building infrastructure so that we don't have a mess of the system. So what they should have done, immediately they are building those tank farms, they should build ultra-modern truck park along.
Okay, we'll get to the truck parks very soon. But before we get there, let's look at the hundreds of billions that is lost due to this gridlock, and there have been several interventions by government to be able to curb the menace. How will you say these interventions have fared?
So billions of dollars are lost, on a daily basis, because it still relates back to the management of trucking. As we speak, if you go to Apapa, there are trucks everywhere carrying exports, and these exports are supposed to generate, forex for Nigeria as to, building our economy. But they are there, they can't even access the ports. You understand? So I still relate everything back to sincerity of purpose from the government side. NPA regulate all these policies. So they should give, relative policies that would make businesses such as trucking community to survive in the harsh realities we find ourselves.
So you are saying those interventions have not really served its purpose?
I mean, look at, for example, they came up with the TTP, which is a company that came up with ACTOAN web app, whereby we need to firstly, book to go into the port.
Okay.
It's all a mess now because they only created purpose, they only created system, but they are not creating values. And that is why we still have the gridlock as it were during the naval period. So let me tell you, let me quickly buttress on the difference between the naval period and now, is that you can only go to the port through generating tickets on the ACTOAN app. Then you don't have to generate tickets. What you just need is authority to load, which the
authority given by who?
The importer or the clearing agent. If I'm an importer, once I import, I don't have the wherewithal to go into the port to clear my goods. I have to give it to professionals, experts in clearing. So the moment they clear, they now consult us for trucking.
Okay.
So they are the ones that have information of the containers we are picking.
Okay.
So by right, if we are to do it genuinely, the agents should be the one to book ACTOAN in a seamless way as they are clearing their container to the final stage of authority to load. Then they book ACTOAN together, then they just give the trucker. But as we have it, they have made a mess of the call-up system. Why would you say you are building a system where there is transparency, first come, first serve, but at the same time, the owner of the app still creates virtual parks?
No. We had the CEO or the MD of the TTP park here on the show, and he said preference is only given to exports. So are you saying that is not correct?
That's not correct. I was at the export processing terminal yesterday to discuss with the management of Diamond Star. As we have it, we have trucks that have spent 3 weeks in the terminal. The booking to go and drop the export in the port has expired. The value of running that kind of business is nosediving, because how would a truck be in the terminal for 3 weeks? This trucker is fulfilling all obligation to drop this container, but the mess is still there. You know why? Because some people have access to go to the port direct without doing the needful, which is the call-up system. The NPA grants authority to go into the port for certain set of people, and that's why I feel there is some sort of digital extortion with the call-up system. Digital extortion. So they have e-cabals as to when during the Navy time that we have few people managing the situation. As it is, even with the call-up system, we have people that are running the whole show. We call them e-cabals. I'm a truck owner. My truck goes through the process and I end up spending 2 weeks, regardless of the category I fall in.
Okay, let me come to your people, which are the truck owners, because we still see trucks on the roads. What more should government do, or what kind of truck parks do you want to see that will ensure that we don't have these truckers on the road?
So we've engaged with the special advisor to the governor on transportation severally. I have reiterated why we need to have ultra-model truck park where these trucks can go, hibernate for a while before they go into the port. That is what we need to, manage the situation properly, because there is no system you bring in place. If the truck parks are not there, then we are just wasting time. That is number one, truck park. Number two, security agencies. If you want me to tell you for a fact what is really making ETO look almost a workable system, is because of the security agencies. Although they are also making money out of it. Okay. But if you tell any trucker that if you don't go through the normal process, your truck will be impounded. Nobody will go. In fact, when ETO started, for 2-3 months, everybody followed the procedure.
So what happened?
They mess it up by, creating virtual park, meaning that if you don't want to go to those physical parks that they have approved, we can create virtual park for you. Do you know, unofficially, Call-Up was sold for 300,000 in December. Unofficially. You know why? Because some people created prosy profile for speculative reasons, that if I book today, by next week, I can sell it for 100,000, 200,000, to the fact that Call-Up rose to 300,000 and nobody is talking. That's why I said...
We are due for a break. When we return, we'll be talking more about this, your virtual parks, and these allegations you are banding here and there. We'll be looking at the orientation that your association give you your people, and how much have they adhered to government's intervention. But that will be after this short break. Please stay with us.
News Central TV, Africa's #1 storyteller, has come with the best of both worlds. With a combination of news app and live TV, we ensure that you keep track of the latest headlines, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from professional journalists from around the continent. Download the News Central TV app on Android and iOS and get started today. Don't forget to follow us on News Central's social media platforms. News Central, Africa First.
If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Radar, and I still have with me Ridwan Bello. He is the chairman, Amalgamation of Container Truck Owners Association of Nigeria. Well, before we went on that break, you were talking about virtual parks. From the point of view of truckers, what do you think is the solution to this gridlock? Because I understand that the gridlock that we see now is as a result of road construction and all that, and your people still parking on the road.
Yes, it's because some people are giving them that opportunity.
So why are your people still parking on the roads?
The people that are parking on the road is because they want to shunt. But what I'm saying is that the foundation is wrong. And once the foundation is wrong, if you are giving some...
So what solution are you profiling?
Transparency. Let everybody follow the process.
Okay.
The process is register your truck, go to the port. First in, first out. That is what we want. We have told them the main solution is e-tag. E-tag simply means that our truck should have, you know how it works in Lekki, at the barrier, whereby if you don't want to pay cash, you have the tag. Once you get close, the barrier opens. So if our trucks have that, they call it RFID, the barrier automatically opens because it is being processed that we know this truck. The call-up database, as we have it, is full of proxy. I'll tell you, if they have 1,000 truck registered there, over 700 are proxy trucks. They are virtual, they are not physically present. Somebody can use a tank truck to go and register under it too. So they will have like 10, 20 tickets so that they can sell. Do you get? If all these loopholes are reduced to the barest minimum, then everybody follows the procedure. Then we don't have problem again.
Okay, before I let you go, my concern is the economic loss to the nation, the discomfort it brings to residents around that or people who visit Apapa. In fact, because if you just in Lagos today, if you say Apapa, the first thing that said, you find out people don't just want to go to that area. It's affecting those who are residents in that area. A lot of businesses are moving out of the area, and people have properties that they built to make money for them. So when people are moving out of a place, it's a huge loss to them, to the economy, to organizations, to individuals, to residents. It's a whole lot of mess. So what collaboration have your association with government, maybe MPA, maybe Lagos State government, then the handlers or managers of the call-up system that is supposed to ensure that there's no gridlock? What collaborations have you had to ensure that this menace is being brought to an end?
So we came up with something called the Shedler system, whereby all trucks coming from parks would be physically examined by stakeholders, some of us that are genuine. So we've had this collaboration so that it will reduce the whole compromise on ACTOAN app already. So we've engaged with them when they started the Johnny Code. I was the one that raised the idea of Johnny Code, that how can we identify that this particular truck is coming from this particular place. But guess what? By the time they create virtual park, they create evacuation process. How would all these things work? It still goes back to sincerity of purpose. If you say this applies to Mr. A, it should apply to Mr. B as well. So we want our business to flourish, because the more it flourishes, the more we'll be able to expand.
And my question is, have you taken these complaints
to
the table?
They know.
Of government?
They know.
They just know, or there's a formal information?
We write letters to them.
Okay.
We have periodic engagement. Okay. We say these things. Okay. But guess what? They gain from it. They gain from it. Are we not the one that...
And your truckers also gain from it by staying on the road?
Truckers don't gain by staying on the road. That's what they call shunting. They just want to get to the port as fast as possible. But guess what? It has been proven by what happened in Tinkan that even these barriers are wasting the time, the duration that truck are supposed to, the turnaround time. We also proved it in Kirikiri, where there is no barrier, but money is being sent to a private account. What was done? What the investigation? Where is the results? That's why I said it is a tool app. It is just an app to generate code for the barrier to open. When the barrier opens, money drops into MPA pockets, and that is it. Because if truly the solution is out there, they create value, we would have seen it on the road. We would have seen it. And at the same time, government sincerity. Look at what happened in Tinkan. Just 2 days. Gridlock of 6 years was cleared in 2 days. Gridlock that has been there in Tinkan for 6 years was cleared in 2 days. So tell me, if they really wanted to do this, area boys are there collecting money. I did a road research as to how much they make on Tinkan axis alone with 28 illegal toll points. Do you know on the average, they will be making 1.1 billion. Non-state actors, area boys on the road. So please, that 1.1 billion, you think is just going to somebody's pocket? Some people are getting out of it. That is why they let it be there for 6 years. And it's something they could clear in 2 days.
See, government must be sincere if the gridlock seen in Apapa and Tinkan must go away. Those are the words of Ridwan Bello. He is the chairman, amalgamation of Container Truck Owners Association of Nigeria. I must thank you most kindly for your thoughts on the show as we look forward that government and you truckers, we collaborate so that there will be smooth businesses on that axis. The allegations you've made, you said they are correct, but they are on you.
Yes, my face is here. Yeah. I mean, I will not say what is. I'm here just to say it as it is, facts only. If anybody can come online or anyhow by any means to put my name on any of the things happening there, I won't be here. So that's why.
Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And that's our show this week. I hope we've been able to understand the truckers' view on the gridlock and the solutions they've been able to prefer. Join us every week on Maritime Radar as we explore potentials that will ensure the development of the maritime sector in Africa. You can also expect the latest in global and local maritime news plus industry insight right here. I'm Nneoma Obi-Asualo. Many thanks for your time and see you again next week.